You've got the whole day free, but there's one email you didn't send, one form you didn't finish, one small thing left undone from yesterday, and somehow that one loose thread is louder in your head than everything else you actually accomplished this week. You try to enjoy the day off, and it half works. Something keeps tugging at the edge of your attention. Not urgent, not even that important, just unfinished, and apparently that's enough to keep the rest of the day feeling slightly incomplete, like background noise you can't quite locate the source of. That's not you being disorganized. It's a documented effect, and it has a name. Naming it. Psychologists call it the Zeigarnik Effect, named after Soviet psychologist Bluma Zeigarnik, who noticed something odd back in 1927. Waiters could recall complex, unpaid orders in perfect detail, exactly what each table had ordered, down to the modifications. But the moment the bill was paid, the details vanished from memory almost instantly. Curious, she ran experiments giving people a series of small tasks, like puzzles and simple assembly work, interrupting some before completion, and found that people remembered the unfinished tasks nearly twice as well as the completed ones. Your brain, it turns out, holds on to open loops far more tightly than closed ones, regardless of how important the task actually is in the grand scheme of your life. That explains why unfinished things stick in memory better than finished ones. Later researchers replicated the effect across dozens of task types and found it held up consistently. Interruption, not difficulty or importance, was the strongest predictor of what stayed vivid in memory afterward. But that only tells us that memory sticks around. It doesn't explain why it feels like it's actively pulling at you, instead of just sitting there quietly, filed away until you get to it. The historical layer. For early humans, an unfinished task was rarely a neutral thing to simply forget about. An unmended shelter before a storm rolled in, an unresolved conflict with someone in your group that hadn't been smoothed over, a half-finished repair on a tool you needed for tomorrow's hunt. In a small band with no calendars, no notebooks, and no reminders pinging on a screen, the only place a task could be tracked down was in your own head, and forgetting the wrong one could genuinely cost you your safety, your food, or your standing in the group. So, the brain evolved to keep unresolved, risk-relevant tasks active and mildly uncomfortable in working memory, refusing to file them away as safe until they were actually fully done. That discomfort wasn't a flaw in the system. It was the entire reminder system doing exactly what it was built to do. The modern amplification. Now imagine that same system facing an inbox that refills itself daily, a to-do app with no bottom, dozens of browser tabs left open for later, and group chats with unanswered messages sitting in permanent view on a screen you carry everywhere. Modern life doesn't just occasionally create an unfinished task the way hunting or shelter building once did. It manufactures an endless, self-replenishing supply of open loops, far more than the old reminder system was ever built to hold at once. So instead of switching off once in a while, between hunts, between crises, it stays lit almost constantly because there's always another tab, another message, another half-finished thing waiting. Notice how it actually shows up. It's lying in bed, replaying a task you could have finished in 2 minutes if you'd just done it earlier. It's that one email popping into your head mid-conversation with a friend, completely unrelated to anything being said. It's feeling like you can't fully relax on a day off because of one small unrelated thing still technically undone somewhere in the back of your mind. It's the low hum of, I should really deal with that, following you through an otherwise good afternoon. It's opening your laptop for one unrelated reason and suddenly remembering 3 other browser tabs you never closed. It's the specific relief, almost disproportionate to the task itself, the moment you finally send the email you've been putting off for a week. The reframe. Here's what research on this effect actually reveals, and it's more useful than it sounds. The discomfort isn't there to torment you until the task is finished. It's a signal, and it turns off surprisingly easily, even without the task itself being done at all. Studies building on Zeigarnik's original work found that simply making a specific plan for when and how you'll finish an unfinished task, not finishing it, just deciding when you will, is often enough to quiet the mental pull almost entirely. Your brain isn't demanding completion. It's demanding a place to safely set the reminder down so it can stop carrying it. Close. So next time, one small, unfinished task is somehow louder than everything you got right today, try naming what's actually happening. That's not a character flaw keeping score against you. That's a very old filing system refusing to close a folder until it knows exactly where to put it. Write it down. Name when you'll deal with it. And the noise usually stops well before the task itself is even done. The system was never asking you to finish everything today. It was only ever asking you to stop carrying it alone.